Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make a cloth simulation here, and let's hope everything's not too laggy. It feels laggy. Okay, I'm trying to deselect, and suddenly we're having issues. Okay, come on. Okay, so first thing is I need to make sure that my clothing is uh, is hollow. Okay, right in here I got this thing kind of sealed off. I got to get rid of. Holy cow! Suddenly this whole thing is slowing right down. We'll see if I can keep it going. Okay. Trying to record this and do it at the same time is a bit of a task. Okay, there. Just do this, delete that, get rid of that. So that's okay, one single ply, and we'll do something down here, I think, on these pieces here. Oh! Actually, what if I just quickly double click? Come on, give me the whole piece. I'm just realizing I'm going to select these joints, so I'm just going to deselect. There we go, and then I can go to vertices, and if I take this one, and I quickly go to faces, and I grow my selection, then I can hit delete there. Okay, great. So there we have it. And these are pants, okay. Now, what I want to do is, let's just bring back the poly that we have here. Okay, great. I'm just going to zip into NDynamics, and I'm going to go into NMesh, and I'm going to create NClothe. And I want to make sure that my playback speed is play every frame real-time max. Okay, cool. And if I press play, we'll see the pants fall down. Yes. Okay. One other thing I forgot to do is if I go in here to the nucleus, I got to go and change something here. I do believe I modeled this at real world scales. So if I go into scale and I take the space scale, I usually knock it down to 0.1 to start off with to figure it out, but it should be like 0.01, right? Because it's Maya thinks in centimeters and NClothe thinks in meters. So those are the units that you have to think about when you're playing. I'm just going to go back here, and when I press play, there they all fall down. Okay, wonderful. And I'm going to put them back. Okay, now I want them to crash or collide with the body. Okay, I have to remember this thing's bound and everything. I suspect, now that I think about it, I think I know exactly what's wrong with my computer, but I'm not going to fix it right now because it's going to take me too much time. So I'm going to go through this. I just went here and I made it into a passive collider. So now when I press play, the pants are going to collide and slide off of his body. Okay, let's stop that. That's working. Now we've got a couple of solutions here. The first one that's really, really simple is I could take these pants and selection is a pain. I wonder if it's because I have iTunes on at the same time. Come on. Right click, edge, double click, and then I'm just going to do a quick little to vertices trick here. Okay, great. And then I'm going to select the body. And then of course that makes it hang for a moment. And if I go here to end constraint, I'm going to do a point to surface constraint. Now what this is going to do is it's going to stick it to the surface. Actually, how come I didn't see that work? Okay, let's press play and figure out what I did. Oh no, there they are. Okay, so now the pants are stuck to the surface. They got this funny reach to them. If I grab the dynamic constraint and I look down here, what do we got? Rest length is from start distance. We could go and change it to constant. And if we have it at constant, we can take the, which one is it? Drop off distance? No. If I look, force, well, the rest length is at 0. I have to stop the animation, and suddenly that opens up. Here we go to the first frame. And so now when I press play, you'll see they're stuck right to the body. Our rest length scale is set to 1, so if I bring this down even, that the one? Drop off distance 50. Hold on, am I missing something else? Glue strength. I'm just going to pause for a second. I just realized what it was. I forgot all about that. If I go up here, I have to take a look at my object here. And if I go into my NClothe, boop. Come on, baby, just go a little bit faster. I forgot that I have to look at the collisions, and if I look in at the solver display, collision thickness, we're going to see that the thickness is set up. And also, too, the rigid shape also has one that's sitting something like that. So it is colliding appropriately here. But if I bring that thickness down, I can bring them closer. Take this one, and I can bring my thickness down here, too. And if I turn those things off, you'll see that the clothes get really close. Okay, so there you go. So there, the pants are working. I might want to change some of these things on the cloth. I can go into the presets, and if I wanted to, I can make it into some kind of heavy denim. Okay, and heavy denim, I go and I hit... Yeah, actually, this is going off the side here, but if I use replace, that'll make it a bit stiffer. So it'll behave a bit better. Okay, and now, something else I might want to do is... I might want to put some animation on here to test it. Okay, see if it's behaving correctly. If I go here to the nucleus, if you have animation, you want to make sure that this thing actually starts about 30 frames before your animation does. So currently we're at frame 0 here. If I put the start frame, I can actually put in like -30 in here. Okay, so I have some run-up time. Now let's put this to -30 as well. Boop. Okay, great. So now we got run-up time, and that way I can just do some animation testing. Select this object, got my move tool on. Come on! Okay, at frame 0, I'll just, actually let's leave it where it was, and I'm just going to hit S, and then at frame, say, 20, we'll push it down like this, S, and I'm just going to get my graph editor and do something fast and fancy. It's just to translate Y, so just for a test, if I go in here to View, Infinity, and I go into the Curves, Post Infinity, and I put it on Oscillate. Okay, great. And let's give ourselves, we got 190 frames, so let's see what happens. So when I press play, pants sag down and get into place. We just test it out. And do we have any crashing? Okay, that seems to be working. Seems to be doing okay back here. I could almost have a bit more geometry on this thing for this. Maybe not right on this system right now because it's going really slow and laggy. I think it's just because my C drive is filled up with stuff. So that's working. And I'm just going to go back to the first frame. Now something else, you might want your clothing, whatever it is, to have some kind of thickness. Okay, and this is going to slow down this computer even more. If I grab it, and I'm just going to make like a duplicate for an example. So I just made a quick duplicate, and I'm going to give the duplicate a bit of girth. So I'm going to hit extrude, pull it along the blue arrow. Okay, and you could do whatever you want to do on this thing. My God, this is taking forever. There, object mode. Okay, and okay, so that's pants number 2, and I could delete the history on this. Okay, and again, model it, put more details on it, whatever I want to do, model in seams, anything. Now I've got 2 pairs of pants here, and I'm just going to make sure I look at this in the hypergraph so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. Boop. There's one pair of pants, and the other pair is right over here. I'm just going to move this over here. Boop. All I did was hold down Control while I middle-click drag to get them side by side. And this one here, got no history. It's got an extra node on here. It's probably this one here. I could probably get rid of that. Okay, great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pants, and I'm going to select these original ones here, the cloth object. You can see it highlighted in green here. And I'm going to zip over into the animation section. I'm going to go into Create Deformers, and I'm going to make it into a wrap deformer. Okay, so it just made it into a wrap deformer. So, again, I can do anything I want to these pants. I just hit 3 on them. We'll see what happens when I do this. La 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 la. Hopefully don't crash. Okay, but these pants are now going to be wrapped, so they're going to be deformed by the NClothe object. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to press play, see what happens. Almost looks like pajamas. Okay, and so now you're going to see this modeled pair is going to follow the NClothe here. Now I can see, or I'll just deselect. Uh-oh, and then it lags my deselect. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay, but that seems to be working. If I had made the pants a bit closer to the body, they probably wouldn't have this kind of weird sweatpants thing going on. But that seems to be working for the most part. So that's method 1. And I'm going to try to make a video later on for method number 2. But this one here seems to be working. It seems to be a little bit more heavy on the computer, though. Remember, this is something you want to do pretty much after you've finished animating. You got your scene working, then you want to do these tests to make the cloth work. And I'm going to stop it here.